What's up, everyone? I'm Shruti, and you know what? WWDC 15 that Apple made for the developers was yesterday. So the press conference was yesterday, and they introduced a lot of new, for example, OSs, etc. But I just wanted to shortly show you guys what's being introduced in the iOS 9, all the new application functions, etc. So let's just get straight into it. So first of all, the new update will be 1.3 gigabytes. That's a lot smaller than the previous update. For example, iOS 8 had 4 to 5 gigabytes that you have to actually download to update your device. Now you only have to use 1.3 gigabytes, which is quite good. First of all, they're actually introducing the News app. What the News app essentially is that when you first click on it, it'll ask you about your interests, categories that you actually read about from the news, etc., etc. And then, for example, whenever you go on to, let's say, BBC or CNN or whatever, let's say I go into the tech section, right? It will take all the tech news and put it all into one app. From different websites that I go on to, etc. So I'll have everything all in one place, so I can read all my news from one app, which is quite convenient for most of the public. Second of all, Notes. Notes have actually been improved, and I was actually waiting for this update. So they're actually adding photos and checklists. So for example, you want to take a photo, you can just take a photo and then put it straight into Notes, or you can actually take a photo from your photo gallery and put it straight into Notes. Second of all, you can take a checklist. For example, you want to do a grocery checklist, right? And then you can check it off straight away in the apps, in Notes, instead of actually going anywhere else to check it off. They've also additionally added sketch, so you can actually sketch your thoughts. For example, if you want to, I don't know, sketch a plan of a place or of your house or whatever, you can actually sketch it up, and then it embeds it straight into Notes as a photo. But the very cool thing is that, for example, from any app or browser, for example, you can actually set up a short, let's say, reminder in Notes, which essentially, when you click share, the share button, it will save a browser attachment with a simple text and thumbnail, so that whenever you click it, it goes straight back into the application or browser page that you were in, into the same place where you were at. So it's just done for convenience, so you don't have to play around with remembering different sites or trying to write down the URL or anything like that. Additionally, search is back where it was, for example, on the left side. They've actually improved it so that you can have new suggestions like recent contacts, nearby places, and it's all done sort of for convenience, so you don't have to somehow go and find it somewhere else. Maps. Now the Map app has been actually made sort of and updated now to actually allow people that use public transportation to actually get to the place where they actually want to. So they've actually integrated public transportation into the Map apps, so that, for example, if you want to get from one place to another using, for example, the tram or the tube/metro, it will show you the times, it will show you how long it will take you to actually get from one place to another. This actually comes in to a transit view, as they call it, where it actually shows the length, all the places where you have to go, all the trams or buses, etc., that you have to go through to actually get to your destination, essentially. Additionally, they've actually added nearby places like restaurants, groceries, cafes, and a lot more, simply for convenience, and I was actually waiting for that for quite a long time. Next, going on to Apple Pay. In Apple Pay, you can actually add a lot more cards and a lot more variety of credit cards, debit cards, etc. to Apple Pay, so you don't have to actually take all your cards with you. Second of all, they're actually allowing you now to use Apple Pay in a lot more shops. They introduced a lot of new shops that will be introduced throughout this whole year. So that's quite good, and it's a lot safer for you and for your cards, so that you don't lose any. They've also introduced CarPlay, which is an app so that if, for example, your car supports wireless connection to your iPhone, you don't actually have to use the jack to actually plug it in and use all the wires and everything to plug it into the car and then, listen to some music or something. You can actually just click CarPlay. That will automatically hook you up with your car, so that you can actually play messages, calls, music, anything that you really want to hear, for example, and listen to. And so it's all wirelessly done and without any cables, so it's done for convenience. Now let's go to the iPad. So they've done, they've tried to, let's say, double up the productivity, similar to when Windows 7 came out. They've done, let's say, a split view. They can view two different applications at once on one screen for the convenience. So what they've actually done is they've introduced a few views. One is slide over, second one is split view, and the third one is picture in picture. We'll come back to that in a second. They've also additionally introduced QuickType, which implements the new formatting and text selection a lot easier, with added shortcuts to the keyboard menu, similar to what the iPhone Plus has. When you rotate it, it has, for example, paste, cut, etc. So let's go first into slide over menu. So what this essentially means is that you can open up a second app, right? And just quickly, for example, reply to a text, or let's say you want to reply to an email or just check something quickly, right? It'll pop up on the right side, and you can do that without actually going out of the other app, so you can see everything that's going on behind the first app, which is quite easy, though please be advised that you can actually not use the second one whilst you're using the first one. Now in split view, you can actually use both apps or both screens per se, similar to Windows 7 or 8, where you split, let's say, two applications, one on the left side, one on the right side, and you can actually work on them simultaneously. For example, if you want to, I don't know, reply to an email and message, if you've got those skills, and you can do both of those at one time. The third and final view is picture in picture. It's a great viewing technique, for example, that allows you to watch, let's say, films, or actually FaceTime with someone, so that it actually puts the short window, let's say, with either FaceTime or films or etc. in the bottom right corner, so that you can watch a film whilst you, for example, read your emails in a native resolution, as shown here. Next, let's go on to Siri. Siri has now actually been improved, and it's actually been said that 1 billion requests have gone to Siri every single week, which is incredible. Siri is now improving so that it can recognize a larger range of answers and questions. For example, if you want to see a photo from a specific place or from a specific date, you can ask, for example, you can ask Siri to, let's say, show you all the photos from, for example, Japan, right? And then it will show you all the photos from when you were in Japan, or, for example, let's say, show all the photos from let's say, January, right? And then it will show you all the photos from January. Which is quite good. Additionally, Siri will now be proactive, meaning when, for example, you'll get a call, right, and you don't actually recognize the phone number, it just pops up as a random phone number, and you're like, who is this? I'm like, what? So essentially what it will do is try to search through your emails, contacts, etc. browser to actually recognize the phone call, and then it will suggest by simply saying, maybe it's, for example, this person, right? Just to give you a sort of an idea who's calling you, so that you can either pick up or not pick up, depending on whatever you want to actually do. Furthermore, you can now actually use Siri to automatically add events to your calendar. So for example, you get an email with a flight reservation, restaurant confirmation, anything like that, Siri will automatically put that event into your calendar, and it'll be stored there so that you can actually see it, so you don't actually have to manually put in every single flight or restaurant confirmation or whatever you have in, because Siri will do it automatically, which is quite great. Going on to battery life. Battery life has actually been now extended across all the platforms by trimming the usage where possible, so that it will give you around an additional 1 hour of usage before you actually have to charge it, so you can use it a lot longer than before, because 1 hour is quite long, actually. Going on to security. So what they've done is they've done two security measures. One is that, for example, all the normal, let's say Joe, used to use 4-digit security passcode, right? For example, I know a lot of people put in their simple PIN, for example, just to remember the PIN, because you don't actually restart your iPhone quite often. So now instead of 4, you'll have 6. Okay, they're doing that to improve security. So that, for example, 4 is quite easy, so now 6 will be a lot harder for people to actually hack into. So if you've got, for example, a PIN method, maybe you just want to add like 2 digits at the end or the beginning to actually remember your PIN. Just on top of that. Second of all, they've actually said that, for example, one single password, for example, when you're getting a new device, just one single password just to verify you isn't really enough. So what they've done is implemented a new authentication process that actually introduces 2 factors. So one is you'll be asked for the password as normally, right? Second of all, when you'll be actually going into the new device, etc., right, you'll be actually asked to verify the code. It'll be similar to Steam Guard if a lot of people use Steam. So that, for example, you get an email with a verification code, you just put it in and you're good to go. So it's a 2-step process, and it ensures that no one can actually take your data from, for example, iCloud, etc., when they're getting a new device and they just know your password, right? Going on to Android/iOS, which is quite interesting. So that now you can, if you're an Android user and want to actually switch to iOS, instead of rewriting all your contacts, calendar, etc., what you can essentially do is download the Move to iOS app in the Android store, and actually switch all your data to your new iOS device using that app. So you don't have any problems with actually rewriting everything that you actually have to remember, or contacts, etc. Last but not least is the Apple Watch. Essentially, in the Apple Watch, they're introducing a Watch OS, so you can actually start making or actually using native apps from the watch instead of actually booting it off, for example, from your iPhone that you had to do previously, that they actually promised that they would introduce this year, which I'm quite happy that they are. So that short, let's say, review of WWDC 15 of iOS 9 ends here. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Like, subscribe for more content, and see you guys.